My name is Wanda,
My name is Trey.
and we are Love Like the Joneses.
Every time you say my name, even when we're far away, I feel like a child. The way you make me smile. Yeah. Yeah. The way you make me smile.
You can go. Okay, so we met. I was out riding my motorcycle with some friends one night, and we stopped to go get some pizza. And crossing the street, I happened to look over, and I saw some pretty eyes that was looking at me. So we spoke, said a few words. I went inside. We got our pizza, came out.
Actually, let me tell the story.
Are you serious?
That's not what happened.
That's what happened. Yeah.
So, I met him in May, and I can honestly say that I knew that I loved him by November.
The next day.
We started out the next day. We started out as friends, and when I say friends, I mean he was there for me like no other, and he accepted me and all that I had, flaws and all. And so from there, the friendship grew into more, but there was a time that I had to call somebody at like 3 o'clock in the morning because I parked in a place where my car shouldn't have been parked like months prior to that. And all my friends were with me. And so I called him just to see. And I won't say it was a test, but just to see how he was going to respond. And he went home, he took his motorcycle and put it up. He got his truck, came back, picked me up, took me to pick my car up, took care of everything. I had my purse in my car, so like he paid for it and all of it. Just friends, like nothing. There was nothing sexual about us or anything, and that was like way after I had met him. But that November, it was like I just sat back and evaluated like my entire life. I always do reflect in like a month or so before it's my birthday. Birthday is in December, to just kind of like see where I was last year and where I am this year. And in that month of reflection, that's when I'm like, wow, like this guy is pretty amazing. And so I can honestly say that November 19th was when I met him on May 12th, but of the same year that I was just like, there's no other guy that I want to be with. Please do.
So I'm not this very, very, very romantic guy. I guess I can't be what I want to be. The proposal wasn't all that superb. I think I put the ring in the Christmas tree, and she saw it, and it was like, we gonna get married, whether you like it or not. It was one of those. It wasn't that you want to record for your friends.
But at least he's telling the truth, because he's been telling the kids all these years that I put a gun to his head and was like, you're gonna marry me. So I'm glad the truth has finally came out. That's funny. My mom and I were just having this conversation at 4 o'clock this morning. I've changed a lot since Trey and I have been together. I guess before it was strictly just all about me. It was whatever I wanted, however I wanted it. Just didn't. It wasn't that I was inconsiderate. It was just that it's really only about Wanda. And so Trey and I have been through a lot together. We've shared a lot together, and we've been through a lot together. And my selfish ways caused us to have some hard mountains that we had to climb together, that I know for a fact that if I wasn't with him, I would have just said, done deal, and I'm out. But because he is who he is, and his determination and his, dedication to, this is my family, I'm a protector, and we're not just going to let this, fade away, I was able to put myself in that quote unquote submissive role and become a person of respect for somebody else's time, for somebody else's feelings, for somebody else's consideration that I didn't have before.
Wanda's a planner to the T. I'm a winger. I just wing it and go. And that balance, you'll think it'll be way up here and down here, Well, she makes everything, right even. So it's like I need her to live. Otherwise I'd probably be. If you smacking with your hair, Otherwise there's no telling where I would be. What position I would be in, anything. It's kind of crazy because prior to meeting Wanda, I had stopped going to church. Like I grew up in the church. My grandfather was a pastor. My mama was in the choir. I was an usher at a young age. When I got to the point where I could make a decision where I can go, or had to go, I stopped going. So when I met Wanda, she grew up in the church, so I started going to church with her. Time goes by, when we moved to Florida, that's when I actually started participating in church. I became an armor bearer. But I believe, if it wasn't for God, we probably wouldn't be together.
Yeah, I would have to agree. It was probably more than just a rocky road. It was a devastating breakup. Like we were literally not together. We had the divorce papers drafted, everything. It was a wrap. Neither one of us were completely not at fault for the breakup. Both of us contributed our parts. But once it happened, and once we were living apart, he had moved out and everything, and once the divorce papers was drafted, we were in court. Once all of that started to unfold, that's when I really began to turn to God and begin to pray. We were forbidden by the judge to contact each other and everything. It was a really bad breakup. We ended up not filing the actual final divorce decree simply because I called the prayer warriors and we started praying about it. And we were fasting and we were doing the whole nine. And then he slowly began to turn. God began to change his heart. Mine was already changed, began to change his heart. And then when that happened, it was literally a matter of weeks before his job was transferring him to Florida. And then that was our new beginning altogether. When we came here, he started looking for a church for us to go to. He was the one that found the church. He was the one telling me and the kids, I need to get up. We can be on time for everywhere else. We're going to be on time for church. And I'm sitting there looking like, who is this man? And then we got to church and us with another couple was placed over top of the marriage ministry. And, different people would come up to us and ask our opinion and ask our advice. And he became active being the armor bearer. And it was just so much that started being revealed once we literally fully committed to, we can't do this, that we have to rely on the man upstairs to be able to help us mend what we had broken and help us to keep together what he had already put together.
When we got married, we didn't have a wedding. We did just of the peace. We had a reception party and went on a honeymoon. So it's just now, it's just it's our season.
I feel like even when we had decided years ago, first, if we make it 7 years, I'm a number person, 7 years, if you make it the 7th year for completion and you make it the 8th year, the perfect number, the completion number, 10 years, it's okay, everybody that says, we've been together for 10 years. Okay, that's a good number, and that's great. But then what happens after the 10th year? So let's see if we can go past that, because I think, together have always wanted to go above and beyond. To hear somebody say, I've been married for 10 years is awesome. But to hear somebody say, I've been married for 15 years is just unheard of. Unless my parents, who was together forever. But I feel like that's why we came up with the number 15, was because it's past the 10 year, which is pretty phenomenal for somebody to be married for 10 years. When we got to that 6th, 7th year and stuff started getting really, really rocky, it was we're not even gonna make it to the 10 year. We talking about we wanted to go to the 15 year. And here we are at the 15-year mark, and people look at us all the time, especially on social media, or especially the people that was rocking with us when we was going through what we was going through. And they're literally amazed that here we are at the 15-year mark. What we said 15 years ago, on our 15th year, we're going to renew our vows. And here we are. So it's almost like running a race, or a marathon. And when you get to the finish line, it's I want everybody to celebrate because I didn't think I could make it this far, and here we are. And not only, here we are, we've arrived, but it's like we spoke this back then, and that's why I'm a firm believer, and I tell people all the time, your words have power. They absolutely have power. And so if we said that 15 years ago, and here we are, and we've been through it, like we have been through it, but here we are. So if we've arrived, then everybody that we've met along the way that have influenced us in some kind of way, you need to be here and you need to celebrate with us. And you need to also be encouraged to know that everything that look all good is not all good, but it's all worth it. And that's what we represent. Is that it's not that we are lovey-dovey every day of the week and we've got this perfect life built before us, but we got each other. And as long as we got each other and as long as we keep putting him first, it's nothing that's gonna stop us.
So to love like a Jones, you must communicate. You must be able to trust each other. You must be able to work together. You must be able to see your faults as well as the other person's faults. Something I didn't always do.
The lessons that we learned that no one taught us. My parents have been together forever before my father passed away. I saw them have disagreements, but I never saw the stuff that Trey and I went through. So I was never taught, this is how you handle this or this is how you handle that. We had to learn that stuff by ourselves. I remember one time he was at work, we were on the phone, and we wrote this little passage that we were like trying to help other couples. And one of the things that we summed it up with was when we got to a point in our marriage, we described it as like going through life. We're traveling on this road. When we got to a point in our marriage where a big mountain was set in the middle of the road, no one taught us how to bundle up together and go over that mountain. So we split and we went our separate ways. But when we was going around that mountain, we remembered I'm stronger with him. Together we're a force. So we had to regroup and come back together, gain more strength to go over that mountain. That's what we did, and that's what we continue to do. So that's why we want to try to inspire and help other couples so that they can understand that it's not all easy. It's not all, peaches and cream, but it's all worth it. So that's what Love Like a Jones.
Every time you say my name, even when we're far away, I feel like a child. The way you make me smile.